Hello everyone, welcome to Vlad MSD Tattoo Insights. If fur in your tattoos still looks like a spaghetti or grass, don't worry, we're about to fix that. In this video I walk you through the simple step-by-step method to make your animal fur look soft, natural and actually realistic. By the end of it, you'll stop guessing and start knowing exactly what you are doing. So grab a coffee, a snack, whatever keeps you going, and make sure to watch till the end. Don't forget to subscribe for more tattoo insights. Let's dive in. Step 1. Preparing the stencil. At first, keep it clean. Seriously, don't try to draw every single hair on it. That's a rookie mistake. The less cluttered your stencil is, the better. It should only show the essential shapes and flow. You don't need to follow a strict fur pattern. Just look at the reference photo and understand the overall direction of the fur. And that way you'll have more freedom to use your technique and make the fur look natural, not stiff. Of course, if you're doing a portrait of someone's actual pet, that's a different story. There you do need to be more precise with direction, markings and unique features. But most people aren't asking for their chihuahua captured in ink. They want a lion, a tiger, a wolf. Keep it clean, keep it simple, and now let's move on transferring into the skin. Step 2. Transferring the stencil and starting the fur. Once your stencil is ready, transfer it to the skin. I'm not going to get into what products to use, everyone's got their favorite stuff. There's plenty of info out there already. What's more important is how you start. I always work from the bottom up. That way I'm not wiping off parts of the stencil as I go. I keep the transfer clean and sharp. In this piece I started by building a bit of the background first to create a contrast. That gives the fur a nice pop later. And here's a common trap. If you start with lining all the outer fur using a liner, you might end up with a harsh and natural look. Lines made with a liner needle are way bolder than what you'd get with a magnum or round shader, so they don't always work well for soft, realistic textures. That's why in most cases, like in this one, I'll use a magnum even for the finer details in the fur. Step 3. Building the fur from shadows to structure. After I've placed the darkest accents, like the deepest shadows, I move on to building the fur itself. And I don't try to draw every strand. This isn't embroidery. What I focus on first is volume. I use a mid-tone and gently start layering strokes in the direction of the fur flow. Just like in the reference. I'm not trying to draw perfect stripes or hair by hair. I'm creating the illusion of fur. I look at the length and direction. Is it short, long, curved or soft? And I build a shape that makes sense. But here's the deal, if you just stop at mid-tones and don't push the contrast where it's needed, your tattoo will look flat. The client might like it, but any artist who sees it will know something is missing. So, after establishing the base structure with mid-tones, I go back and tighten it up, turning those loose hairs into grouped clumps, little waves or slightly matted fur, depending on the look I want. Step 4. Contrast, wet fur and finishing one area at a time. In this piece I'm working on a snow leopard and his fur is slightly wet, so it shouldn't look super fluffy or completely dry. It needs that slightly clumped, soft but dense texture. Once I've mapped out the midtones and overall direction, I start tightening the look. Some strands merge together into soft clumps, almost like small locks, and I use darker tones to build that definition. But here's something a lot of people overlook. Don't jump around the tattoo. Pick one area like 5 to 5 cm zone on a paw or part on the face and finish it before moving on. Why? Because skin swells. Once you've worked an area, the body pulls fluid into it. If you go back later to darken that same area, it will hurt more and you risk overworking the skin. Also, jumping all over the tattoo confuses you. Mid-tones everywhere, darks everywhere, it gets muddy. Work area by area and only move on when all that's left is highlights. And for highlights you can come back in the end of session. Step 5. Focus and soft blur, guiding the viewer's eye. Here's something most people don't think about. The human eye can't focus on everything at once. That's why in photography the background is often blurred while the subject stays sharp. It helps your brain process the image. Same goes for tattoos. You don't need to make every single part ultra detailed. In fact, if everything is sharp, nothing feels important. For portraits, whether it's people or animals, your focus should be on the face. Eyes, nose and mouth, that's where the detail goes. In case of this tattoo, all the attention is on the snow leopard's head. That's where the fur is most detailed. But what about paws? They're closer to the viewer in this pose, so I detail them too. The chest though, that's not the star of the show, yeah? I just suggest the few there, so shadows, hints of direction, light and dark, enough to give volume, but no need to overwork it. You are telling the viewer where to look. Use detail like a spotlight. Step 6. Needles, technique and knowing your tools. Let's talk tools. Don't get obsessed with what exact cartridge someone else uses. Just because another artist made a sick animal portrait with a round liner doesn't mean you should. Someone else might crush it with a 23 Magnum, while you are way more comfortable with a 15 curved Magnum. Use what feels right in your hand. What gives you control over soft shading, clean lines and everything in between. And that's the thing about fur, it is right between a line and shadow. You're not supposed to draw every hair with the edge of your magnum. That will just look scratchy and messy. You need smooth, soft texture. The goal is fluff, not wire. And I have to say that this video isn't for beginners. It's for tattooers who already understand how to build shadows, how to pull lines and how to control their needle depth and machine voltage. If that's you, awesome. Use the same needle you'd use for soft shading and treat the fur like a controlled mist, not a scribble. And final part, wrapping up and what's next. So here's the result. I toned down some of the redness in the footage. This client has super sensitive skin and it got pretty inflamed. But the fur red's clean, soft and detailed, exactly what we were going for. If this video helped you, share it with your friends, drop a like and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow and I want to keep making content that's actually useful, not just noisy. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm working in a slightly different style there, but I think you'll find it interesting. I'm also teaching person seminars in Lisbon, in Portugal, and sometimes in Germany, Sweden and all around Europe. And look, once you really get this fur technique down, it's a game changer. Not many artists out there can do it right. Maybe 20–30% of tattooers really nail realistic fur. So if you become one of them, you're in demand. More clients, more respect from other artists, more travel, more experience and honestly, more fun. Thanks for watching, have a great day and see you in the next one.